that? Oh God, I'm gonna die. I gotta get this on camera. No. Hey everybody, welcome to the Marino Show. I'm your host, David Marino, and today I'm speaking with Juan Gonzalez, also known as Dirty Freaken Joe. He's a musician. I love it. He's a musician, writer, producer, actor. He's appeared in a number of films, including Desert Fiends, Area 5150, and The Haunted House of Pancakes. He's also in the process of working on a new music video for his single, Mutant Fiends. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so happy to have you on the show today.
Thanks for having me, man. It's been a while since I've been on a show.
It's awesome. You know, I've followed your social media and I see all these various projects that you're involved in. And I love horror movies specifically. I love the genre. But you yourself, your first love was really music, right? So talk to me about how you kind of eventually moved into this film world, but how did it all get started for you?
So yeah, I'm a musician at heart, like always. Like I said, try to follow my father's footsteps. He passed away when I was young, but I knew he was a musician. I would go to his rehearsal studios and things like that. But like I was maybe 6 or 7 when he passed, so it was something I treasured and adored pretty much when I would see my dad playing music. So all my life I've been wanting to do that and like just take over his footsteps, keep his legacy going. That's why I stayed with music. Then I had a band, of course, like a decade ago, or maybe even over a decade. I had a full band called Dirty Suicide, put out a full album. Um, and then the way I got into doing music videos was I was going to concerts a lot. And then I discovered this band called Van Stone. And I loved the act. They were rock, it was comedy, they put on a stage presence, even acting on stage, like breaking boards, like karate, skateboarding on stage too. It was so cool, right? So I kept following them every time, I would see them perform. I would go see the band. I tried to go meet them after the show, buy them a drink or whatever it would be. And then eventually I saw a movie a couple days later. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Little Man from with the Wayans brothers. So then I heard a voice in that movie that sounded exactly like the guy from Van Stone. I looked at the credits and it was Dave Sheridan. I was like, oh, okay, I guess it's not Van Stone, But then I Googled Dave Sheridan, and sure enough, Dave Sheridan is the singer of Van Stone and an actor. So he's a musician and an actor. And I was like, holy crap, this whole time I was hanging out with a movie star and a rock star. So it's really cool. That blew my mind, I didn't know that you would have that kind of potential. You can do both. So then once that happened, I'm like, I want to do both, So he's inspired me a lot to get into the movie scenes and all that things too. Um, so on his band stage presence, he has a roadie that helps him out on stage. He holds the board while he does riccati on a stage and things like that. So that roadie, it's actually my director from the music videos. So when I hang out with him, he knows he's a director. He's taking classes for all those type of things. And I asked him, hey, I see you guys do a music video all the time. You think you can help me out, like shoot a music video for me, Of course, I paid for it. I paid them to do it too. I don't do it like, hey, hook me up for free and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, long story short, I ended up working with that guy. His name's Tim Bennett. He's helped me direct all my music videos I've had. So I always try to keep the same cast and crew as much as possible because I'm like, a loyal guy, like I respect people that want to help me out. So yeah, long story short, Tim Bennett has been with me and part of Van Stone, introduced me to the music and movie world, so he's been helping me do that. The way I broke into movies is I went to go meet Dave Sheridan at one of his meet and greets because he's in Devil's Rejects as well, so he does horror cons and things like that. So I went to go meet up with him, hang out with him again, and he was actually hanging out with Felissa Rose. If you see them or follow them now, they're always together. They're a pair everywhere you go. So I got to meet Dave Sheridan, and he introduced me to Felissa Rose. Like he was like speaking like I was the star. He's like, hey, you should hang out with this guy all the time. You gotta get to know this guy. This guy's really cool. He's dedicated. He got videos. So he made me look good in front of Felissa Rose. So she's like any friend of Dave's, any friend of mine. So then we got really close from there. I started following Felissa on social media, and then I seen her advertising Indiegogo. Like, hey, do you want to be in a film? Act with me in Indiegogo. So that's how I first discovered about even filming. And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't even have to go to acting class. I just pay and I get in. Like that's so cool. I'm so busy in my life that I never had time to do acting classes. I don't have time to audition or anything like that. So it was a great way for me to have a passion, something that I've always wanted to do, and it was just the easy way to get in. But of course, you got to deliver a good, your good performance if you want to continue doing that, and people picks you up for different projects too. So that's how I got involved. I know I talked to Felissa. I'm like, hey, I saw your Indiegogo post. I'm interested in maybe acting with you and things like that. So I ended up buying a perk for the first movie I was in called The Demons Within. It was a perk to act with Felissa Rose. So I was in legit, and then it was supposed to be filmed in Los Angeles when I paid the perk, but then eventually the project was taken to Ohio, and that schedule didn't work for Felissa. So the director hit me up. He's like, hey, do you still want to do it? Because, we're going to move the project to Ohio. I know we told you Los Angeles, but you're going to have to buy your own flights and all this stuff. I'm like, whoa, bummer, but I've already advertised to the world and the public that I'm going to be in my first movie ever, and I didn't want to be all talk. So I'm like, yeah, dude, I got to pay my dues, and I'll do what I got to do. So I flew out to Ohio from the movie without Felissa, sadly, but, they made up for it. They put parts of my tracks on one of my musics in the movie. They advertised my logo. They put band posters in the rooms and things like that. So they accommodated me for my efforts and all that. So that's how I first got into movies. Then after that, I continued looking just through Indiegogo, like what's out there, what else I can jump on, because it was exciting. You're filming for the first time in your life. You get to see behind the scenes, how movies are made, and it was a very exciting experience. And so I wanted more, dude. I had that acting bug, like, man, that shit was so cool. I want to do it again. So I found this other movie called Area 5150 where Felissa Rose was in as well. I'm like, oh, dude, like, what are the odds? I can finally get in the movie with her. And, I love sci-fi horror, comedy as well. It was a great. It's like I said, me all over it. So I'm like, I want to do this, but there wasn't a perk to film with her at the time because I guess they already bought all those perks. So I'm like, whatever, I'll just play whatever I gotta do. At least I can say I'm in a movie with Felissa. But that was the breaking point where I think my career. I wouldn't say it's a career, but like I got a lot more attention from that place because it was a director, Sean Heights. I'm sure you guys have all heard of him. He has Cannibal Comedian just released, and that's blowing up everywhere. That's winning awards everywhere. But yeah, long story short, I did my scene in Area 5150. First time ever meeting Sean Heights, didn't know the guy, and then Ryan James, the producer, he was in there as well. And first time meeting everybody, and then they just treated me like family and like with so much respect, and offered me to come back for certain events. They had Cannibal Comedian doing film festivals, and they invited me to those. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm down to go. But then I would advertise Cannibal Comedian so much that they liked and respected how dedicated I was, just helping people out, get the movies out there. So, they invited me to be an associate producer because it was already done being filmed. I'm like, yeah, I want any involvement. I'll do whatever I have to get my name in that movie because that movie's really good. Like from beginning to end, you'll laugh your ass off. It's original. So yeah, during Area 5150, I played a role where I'm a fan of this podcast called Sci-Fi Sam. So it's the Sci-Fi Sam show. So I did a role where I'm a fan of that show, and when I got on set, I told him, hey, what do you want me to be? How do I act? He's like, well, I see you're a musician, you're a rocker, just play the rocker, be yourself. I'm like, shit, even better. So when I was on set, I told him, hey, I want to try something out. I brought my guitar, and I'm like, yeah, I wrote a quick little hook real quick. And if you guys have heard my song Sci-Fi Sam, you hear like sci-fi, alien, extraterrestrial. And everybody on set just loved it, dude. They were like, oh my God, that was freaking great. So like, I just came up with it on the spot on the way to set. And at the end of the shoot, you can hear everybody humming it, because they didn't catch on to the words right away, but it was just so catchy. I'm like, damn, that's a good sign for me. And after the shoot was done, they were just kind of just talking it out, and they're like, hey, that was a great little pitch you just did. You like, do you think you could write a whole song? I was like, shit, yeah, dude. So I wrote the song. And once I recorded it, I delivered it to them. I'm like, hey, what do you guys think? They were blown. They're like, oh my God, that sounds really great. I guess they thought I was gonna be like a garage band sound quality, but I went to a studio in North Hollywood, the Alter Studio, where I do legit stuff over there. And yeah, they were so impressed. I asked them, hey, if you guys like it that much, can I make a music video out of it? You guys can make cameos inside it too. So yeah, director Sean Heights makes a cameo in the music video Sci-Fi Sam. Ryan James made a cameo in there as well. And it was funny because the set that I used turned out to be the exact same set that they used in Area 5150, and I had no idea. So it was just a weird coincidence. But yeah, like I was trying to see when I was in the process and pre-production. I was like, let me see what kind of aliens there looks like. You know, what does their alien look like in their movie? Because I don't want to be a ripoff. I want my own style. So I just wanted to see what they look like. When I was going through their photos, their BTS photos, I found the alien and I looked at the background. I'm like, dude, that looks like the exact same set I just rented. You know, so I emailed Sean Heights like, hey, did you guys go film here in Burbank? They're like, yeah. I'm like, dude, I just fucking rented the same location like for a video. I'm like, so that would help him out even more because I'm like, you can come bring your cameras if you want to do more B-roll footage for your movie. Like, you're already here, dude. It's all paid for. Like, so boom, like, it was like worked hand in hand together. So, but yeah, ever since then, like, Sean Heights has been a big inspiration because he's also a musician too. He has his band, the Cosmic Jetties, and he invites me to his shows, and I go check it out. There is like surf rock, so it's really cool. It's really cool. I'm very impressed. Again, I met somebody that's in music and in movies as well, and he was an award winner. Like, I'd follow him at Days of the Dead and all his conventions he was going to. He was just winning awards left and right. So I'm like, this is a big inspiration. So as I've been winning awards myself now, I like to compare myself to him. Like, everything he did, I'm doing now too. So I'm doing something right. He won awards. I won awards. He got his movie screened at Chinese theater. My music video got screened at the Chinese theater, and like he's always there. He's like really, really supportive, and that's what I really like and appreciate. Because a lot of people will start asking you like, "Hey, you want to be in my movie? Hey, you want to be in my movie?" Only because they want your money. But I can tell who wants your money, and I can tell who actually respects you and sees your talent and sees your worth and appreciates it too. So very few that actually reach out to you on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, checks up on you and shares your content, without having to ask. So
And one of the films that you're in, which has, made a big splash, was Desert Fiends. Talk to me about that one.
So that one, after I did Area 5150, Sean C. Phillips reached out to me and asked me if I can, be a part of his film. He sent me his Indiegogo link, and then I was looking at it. I read his little storyline plot, and it seems cool because it's like The Hills Have Eyes with Wrong Turn. I'm like, those are movies I love. So I liked that fact and that style. And then I saw the perk where you get to get covered in blood like at a concert, and I'm like, I love the band Guar, dude. Like, I got it tatted on my arm. Like, I just love Guar. Those of you who knows Guar will know it's a bloody concert. It's really fun. So when I seen that perk, I was like, dude, that sounds exactly like a Guar show. I would definitely love to get blood all over me, in a movie. That'd be so cool. So I bought that perk originally to start off in Desert Fiends, and then I was doing a convention with my wife. She had a business. She's called Scream Queen. She was at Creep IE, and then Sean C. Phillips came by because he likes to do his vlogs and all that for his YouTube show. And he swung by the booth, and I told him, like, oh shit, like, hey, I just bought a perk to be that bloody character. And he's like, oh, cool, thanks for supporting me. And he was standing there talking to me for a while. And then I told him, you know what? It'd be so cool to be a mutant. I'm like, if no one picks up that last perk to be a mutant, I'll get it off of you. He's like, hey, just take it now, dude. I'll hook you up. We can work a deal and things like that. So I did pay to, be the mutant, but it was just cool that, he just offered it to me, instead of me like waiting to see if someone picks it up. He just said like, no, don't wait, just get it now and then we'll make it happen. So yeah, I got involved. We shot it in Las Vegas. It was so fun, like, cause I got to work with Brett Wagner. I met a lot of cool people. Nicole Vegas, she's a producer in there, but she makes, she's acting in the movie as well. She's very talented, and she's also kind of put me under her wing and giving me a lot of advice in showbiz. She says she's new to it too, but I'm like, you've been there long enough, longer than I have. So I'm here to listen, and I do respect you. So yeah, Bai Ling was in the movie. Tom Arnold's in the movie. There's a lot of people. What's his name? Robert Lasardo. There's just a lot of big names in there. So it was fun, and you get to meet these actors. So like when I tell people like, oh yeah, I had to pay to get in the movie, people are like, oh man, you're paying to be in the movie. Aren't they supposed to pay you? I'm like, no, dude. Like, you get a cool experience. Like, you don't get to see this every day. You don't get to like hang out with like movie stars or like but you even meet other talents. Like, there's sometimes where there's the Indiegogo players that jump in. I can actually respect him more than some of the celebrities. I'm like, man, dude, this guy has a really great acting skills. There was a scene where one of my buddies, Kevin Duffy, he plays a security guard in there, and his acting was so well where he's like talking shit to somebody in the movie, Where on the opposite side of the field, one of the first AD came over here running like, "Who the hell's talking shit to my people? Don't you talk to me on people like that?" We're like, "It's the acting scene. He's really acting." Like he's like, "Oh, my mistake." He's like, so he came over here thinking he was talking shit to all the whole cast and crew, but that was really cool. That's like one of my favorite experiences on set, just because it was a very funny moment. But a lot of cool stuff happened there. Yeah, it's very exciting. I got to kill someone. That was probably my first and only movie so far where I'm like a lead villain, so I have a little role, a bigger role in that one. So I do take pride in that. The mutant mask is it caught me off guard, because it doesn't say what kind of stuff you have on your face. I don't want to, spill the beans, but I'm pretty sure everybody's seen it already. They got some private stuff on our face, but it was fun. It was very fun. It was a very fun movie to shoot. I met a lot of cool people, and yeah, from there I continued on working with them again. When they did Skate to Hell, they shot Skate to Hell, and I jumped on board to do that as well. Not as a lead, but I played a mutant that was in a movie. Like they were making a movie in a movie, and I played one of the mutants that were in the movie. So I don't have the greatest makeup on me at this time. But yeah, they just finished shooting the sequel, Desert Fiends 2. I couldn't make it back. I had some hardships, and then I'm also doing my video this year as well, so I'm saving up all my funds for that. So I'm not only just asking people for money with my Indiegogo, I'm actually funding it myself. Like the last music video I made, Sci-Fi Sam, I think I spent about like 5 to 6 grand, just all me, and with that, I take pride in because I won so many awards with it. Anything I invested in, I got an award back. Like I've won a best visual effects, I've won a best producer, I've won a best set designs, I've won best music video, so it's best special effects. So literally anything I invested in for the project, I got something back from it. So this time it is going to be a bigger project because I'm turning it into a short film with a music video in the middle, kind of like Thriller. You know how Thriller starts off with dialogue, then it jumps into the music video, then it ends with a little minor clip. So it'll be something like that. So I am making it longer. I did have extra celebrities on the last one. I have Brett Wagner, Sean Heights, and Ryan James. This time I'm keeping the same crew, but I'm adding more to it now. Now I got Lee Waddell, the original Ghostface from Scream 1 and 2. I have him in the movie, in the video as well. And we just want more blood. We want more blood this time. We want more kills. So that is pretty costly. I got Joe Castro, doing special effects, and he's also going to act in it as well. So you get what you pay for, and Joe Castro is definitely worth it.
And so Mutant Fiends is the song that you're talking about in the short film, right?
Yeah, Mutant Fiends will be the short film / music video. That one I was inspired by Desert Fiends. When I was on set for Desert Fiends, the first one, I was talking to Brett Wagner like, "Hey, what are you doing after this shoot? Like, what other movies you got going on?" And he would tell me what he's doing, and he asked me what I was doing. I'm like, "I'm actually shooting a music video right after when I get back home." And I would tell him like Joe Castro's in it, Sean Heights in it, Ryan James in it. And he knows those guys. He's worked with them before. So he's like, "I'm surprised you didn't ask like your buddy to be in it." I'm like, "Who?" And he's like, just pointing at himself. I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like I starstruck. I'm like, I got a celebrity saying I'm your friend. So like that really meant a lot to me. And then my casting was already full. I'm like, let me see what I can do when I get home and see if I can squeeze you in here. Luckily somebody did back out. So I'm like, fuck, I got an extra slot. Like, hell yeah. So I called Brett, like, "Hey, you want to be in this?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm down." So once we made the whole song, I showed him the song. He said he loved the song. He's like, "Song's good." He's like, "But I want something more heavy." He's like, I'm like, "All right, all right." And then eventually he calls me saying like, "Hey, so when are we gonna write a song where I can do some vocals for you?" It started off as a joke, but I'm like, "Shit, whenever you're ready, dude." So I wrote it up. And it was really heavy. And I sent it to him, and he's like, he loved it. He's like, "No, this is fucking heavy." So I was like, "Yeah, dude." So I got him to do vocals on the track as well. So Brett Wagner he does vocals on the audio track for Mutant Fiends, and he will be making appearances in the music video as well. So I'm really excited about that. Like everybody's doing movies right now. Indiegogo is making movies, but I like to. I'm kind of like I'm not really the biggest game changer, but I'm changing it right now. I'm like acting with music now and having the celebrities involved too. But I don't look for just celebrities that are going to make me famous. Like, oh, I'm going to use a big name so I can, hype it all up. Like, I really respect everybody on my team. Brett Wagner, I consider family. Like when I was going through my hard times last year, he reached out to me and checked up on me. Joe Castro calls me and reaches out to me. So these are the kind of people that I want to work with all the time. Like one thing I respect is like Kevin Smith. He says it's all about making movies with your friends. So it's not about like, oh, I'm gonna go, spend thousands of dollars to go pay that celebrity because he's gonna make me look good. Like no, like I pay the guys, but I really respect them. Lee Waddell, I met him at some meet and greets and stuff, but I got really close to him at on Skate to Hell set because he's really close with Brett Wagner. They were both in the movie, and when we were just hanging out off set, Brett really spoke highly of me to Lee Waddell, just how Dave did it to Felissa. So he was speaking to Lee about it, and then Brett's like, "Hey, can we get Lee on this next video?" I was like, "Oh shit, dude! Like, you know that's more money out of my pocket, dude." But Lee was really cool, and he talks to me. We hung out and all that. So he's one of those guys I respected a lot too. He's a very respectable, approachable person. I love that in people. So I'm like, yeah, bring him on board because if somebody just tells me, hey, you're like, can we get my friend in? I'm like, yeah, no, I don't know your friends. I don't care about that. So my music videos, I have my mom in my music videos. I have my brothers in my music video, my wife's in my music video. I'm not trying to just like get professional actors, or any. I'm not, that's not what I'm about. I love having fun with on set, and we did great. Everybody did great. My mom's, because you don't get to see yourself on the big screen that often or anywhere, even on YouTube. So for my mom to see herself at a Chinese theater on the big screen, that was a moment right there. She got super excited because at the Chinese, she went to the restroom, and while she was in there, she said, "Oh my God, somebody recognized me." They said, "Aren't you the alien?" She's like, "Yeah." So those are the moments that mean a lot to me. Like, because I'm not doing this for myself. I like to grow together. I tell everybody, if you're gonna support me, we're gonna grow together. I'm gonna advertise you and whatever you do if you're there for me. So just like you, I appreciate you doing this, dude. Maybe I can get you on a missing flyer on here. Just for having me on the show. So yeah, I have a lot of like podcasters that have been or vloggers that've always been with me, supporting me. Uh, when I'm at my wife's booth, they still, want me to do a plug on whatever I'm doing. I'm like, this is not even my time, but like, I appreciate what they're doing. So, like on Sci-Fi Sam, I have a vlogger, Adventures with David. He's plays one of the scientists, and on this one now, Mutant City Horror, Paul from Mutant City Horror, he's gonna make a cameo in this one, Mutant Fiends as well, because he's been doing a lot of like interviews for me or just video work for me. He doesn't charge me at all, and I'm like, dude, let me give you something. He's like, no, 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 I got you, dude. I'm like, dude, like that means a lot. So I'm gonna, like I said, if you're gonna help me out, I'm gonna help you out. So this time, I'm gonna bring him in the video as well. So you're helping me out with this. We'll see what we can do because like I said, I have perks on the Indiegogo to be a part of this next video. And I'm telling everybody, like, it's gonna be a really great video. Last one was good, and I feel like this one's only gonna be better. I'm gonna still submit it to film festivals, try to win some awards. We're gonna get screened everywhere. You guys can all have fun and see yourselves in these things. Sometimes some people are happy just reading their names on the credit. They're like, oh my God, that's my name, that's my name. I'm like, yeah, dude. Like, so that I got perks where it's just a special thanks. I'm gonna thank you, and I'll have a special thanks section in the credits. Missing flyer photo, you can get your face in there. If you can't be on set, at least you got your face on there, and we give you the prop when we're done shooting. There's lots of ways to get involved. You can do remote roles too if you want to say some lines or you can't come to set. But I try to limit my in person on set just because I've known people that sabotage people's projects by just getting their perks, and then once they're on set, they just kind of mess around, just wasting time. So the benefit of mine is it's a music video. I don't have to worry about anyone saying lines or not. It's just music in the background. All you do is act. Like, just die. And like, it can't be that hard to die, right? But yeah,
That's pretty
it's gonna be, yeah.
So you've been involved in so many projects now, and it seems to be growing and growing with everything that you're doing between music and the movies. I love, like I mentioned earlier, that horror is such a, for me, I love that genre. You mentioned Felissa Rose, those films like Sleepaway Camp were films I grew up watching as a kid.
Yeah.
Have you been inspired, like, growing up? Did you like the horror genre, aside from just the music? Now that you're actually getting to be in that, meet these people, did you
Yeah.
actually aspire to be in anything related to horror when you were growing up? Or how did that, I know how it connected, but is that something you were interested in?
Um, I think everybody has always been interested in wanting to be like a monster, like have a mask on or something. Like when I was little, with me growing up, I love movies as well, but I was more into comedy, like Pee Wee, Ace Ventura, The Mask. There's a lot of Jim Carrey stuff for sure, and Mike Myers. But I grew up with a lot of comedy. But then I did, get introduced to horror, watching Friday the 13th and Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. So I got introduced to the early '80s horror, and that was just always cool. I love like that most of the famous killers that I liked had a mask on, you know. So then I guess all my life I kind of wanted to do something where I have a mask on. That, and I always considered myself butt ugly, but everyone's like, "No, you're not." I'm like, "Shut up, yeah, yeah." So I'd rather have a mask on, you know. So, and then like my teeth are all fucked up. You know, I've gone to the dentist and like they're like, "No, you're fine. You don't need braces." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I ain't coming back." So, but people are like, "Why don't you fix your teeth now?" I'm like, it actually makes me stand out. Like if you watch Mutant Fiends, and I can just randomly tell you, hey, guess which one I am. You just look at the teeth and like, that's him right there. Because everybody else actually use like the fake teeth or whatever, but I use my natural teeth. I'm like, dude, my teeth look like a freaking mutant. I'm like, it's pretty dope. Like, so it's sort of like a signature thing, I guess, too, you know. So, um, but yeah, I mean, growing up, you know, I just listened to a lot of shock rock. You know, I loved Alice Cooper, I loved Marilyn Manson. They always brought that scenery into it. But then once I discovered Gore, that's literally where it went. Like, because Gore was killing people on stage, I'm like, wow, that's so cool. It's like a little mini movie, and then their costumes, obviously, you know, they're fake, but they still went with it, and I just have a laugh at it. That's why I ended up liking a lot of B horror movies. You know, the indie scenes. It's all cheesy movies like Trauma. You know, they'll see somebody throw somebody off a roof, but then you see a rag doll flying out. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, that's fake!" But I'm laughing the whole time. I'm like, that shit was hilarious. You know, like so. Guar really inspired me for the horror rock scenes and all that too. So like doing that, I'm like, I would love to one day just kill someone on stage too while doing music. So then definitely now I got to do that, and now I'm gonna do it even more. Like this Mutant Fiends, I'm paying more homage to Guar, if anything, too. Like my mutant mask is inspired by Odorous from Guar, killing people with the blood. It's like inspiring by Guar. Like it's so much into it. Even in my music, some people hear it and they're like, "Yeah, I can tell you like Guar because you kind of make some references like him and all this kind of stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, like really do." Like he passed away a while back, and it was like one of the most crushing things for me because I would see Guar like once a year, every year. I never missed a show, And then and I would run into the singer. And once he passed away, I'd go to the show and I'm still looking for him. I'm like, oh fuck, he's dead. That's right. Like I can't see him anymore. It was just crushing. Like it felt like a reunion, a family reunion anytime I would go to a Guar show. But yeah, but yeah, that's really how I got inspired into it, though. Yeah.
If people want to support Mutant Fiends in the meantime, how can they do that?
They can go to the Indiegogo link. If you follow me on Facebook, my name is Joe Gonzalez. You'll see me like this, I think. On Instagram, it's dirty_Joe87. I have the link for the Indiegogo on my profile. I have a link tree on there. It'll take you right there to it. If you go to my Facebook profile, I pinned the link to it right on top. So as you scroll down, I don't know the whole name to it right now, but it's like IGG/Mutant Fiends. But yeah, just go to Indiegogo. Just go to Indiegogo. You can even type in Mutant Fiends, and you'll see, Dirty Freaking Joe, my mutant mask on there. It's all in red, so you'll see that, and you can support. I would really, really appreciate it. Like I said, I'm not just making people pay for the movie or my short film. I'm investing in it myself, So I'm grinding every day to make this happen. I just need a little extra to make it even better for you guys. And then this is a way for people to get involved. Greetings, that's a low man, that's a fact.